I'll tell you something. I've not edited both the podcasts yet. Like I've just done the intro, outro, audio fixing, and all that. I've not done anything. And we are talking. And मैं ऐसे साथ साथ सोच रही हूँ यार अगले 2 वीक
ये तो नहीं
बहुत
चलेगा
है मेहनत तो
कि
बहुत लगेगा भाई एडिट करने Okay, it's 2 a.m. at the night, and I just had a special message for Akash, who is my friend, aka my previous colleague, aka the guest on the podcast episode today. Akash, I have been editing this episode for 3 hours straight, and I just want to tell you that you are the biggest professional yapper ever.
And so on.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Unboxing 9 to 5. This is a podcast where we understand the inner workings and explore corporate life. And we also dive into the unspoken truths of the 9 to 5 lifestyle. I'm your host, Vidika, and today we are going to dive deep into a very, very interesting topic, which resonates with, I think, a lot of professionals. It's imposter syndrome in the workplace. For our listeners, imposter syndrome is this sort of nagging feeling that you're not as competent as others perceive you to be. Despite like evidence of your accomplishments, you have a perception that you are a fraud who's about to be exposed. This can lead to anxiety, stress, and a sort of reluctance to take on to new challenges. Today we have a very, very special guest with us. Joining me is Akash. He's the co-founder of Ambika Silver Arts. Hey Akash, welcome to the show.
Hello, Vidika. Thank you for having me. I am genuinely very excited to be here because podcast nowadays is all the rave. Everybody is doing one, all the famous people, especially. So I always wanted to host one myself, but this is a start. I am being invited to one. So it'll be fun, and that too with a friend who I think we've had plenty of podcasts in the past without anybody. So this is probably the first time we are sitting in a formal setup to
Yes.
chat like this. Thank you for that introduction that you gave. I that is my research on the topic basically, and now you have explained it, and now a lot of things make sense. कि यार मुझे भी है ऐसे शायद
That is
imposter
so
syndrome
mean.
पता नहीं
That was
but
literally my homework, Akash.
anyways, like introducing myself, like you said, I am the co-founder on paper of Ambika Silver Arts. It's with my mother actually, and so I don't have a lot of say. Is just that yeah, on paper I am the co-founder, but I look after the branding, marketing side of it essentially. And after coming back, so I was working at Bain, which is where I think for the audience where we met as colleagues first, and then
Yeah, I was going to say all
so
this, but you literally took over, like you usually do.
excuse me, you can't accuse me of mansplaining and then stereotype me as a bulldozer about
Okay, I
hogging
never use these
conversations.
words, Akash. I never use.
Already, I'm just saying. Yeah, see, the point is that why we never had somebody record our conversations is otherwise we would have both been arrested at some point. Just let's be politically correct. Very, very politically correct.
Yeah. I think I can do that, but I'm not sure about you.
I will try my best. Otherwise, तुम उसको cut कर देना ना थोड़ा. Last year I quit Bain, and since then I'm just trying to get back into the home ecosystem. It's been quite a transition, and which is why I got more things to do as co-founder for Ambika. We are in the midst of launching a new category altogether. Not essentially your competitor, but yeah, we are also venturing into personal accessories. So I'm trying to help out more there, and I'm also venturing, like helping my father with my original family business. So yeah, काफी फैला हुआ काम है. नहीं ऐसा कुछ नहीं.
बता
I'm
दीजिए
just
क्लियर काफी फैला हुआ काम है
a lot of individuals out there, especially in our social media age, where you feel that you're not good enough. So I'm still trying to figure out my way and trying to see ki, where does my interest lies, where does my expertise, like meri raah kya hai, like what is my way.
Yeah, I think I totally agree with you. I think I'm also on a similar trend line in my life, like just trying to do a lot of things and just trying to understand where I'm a good fit. Because I think this is the age you just want to like thrive and just try out new things. And you also somehow feel like maybe the time is running a bit, so you want to do a lot of things parallelly. But yeah, I think it's all right. I really appreciate people doing this. Yeah. It's great to have you here. So, before we totally dive into our main topic, let's kick things off with a fun connection before content, which is like an icebreaker. But I try to call it like this, just to like be a bit fancy. So,
Right.
it's a quick game of never have I ever, but like with a twist. So, are you ready? Honestly, yeah. What?
Never have I ever usually have with drinks. Na, I asked if there are shots being sponsored by you also.
Akash, I don't know why you said you are going to be politically correct.
No, no, I moving on to the icebreaker
Okay.
quickly.
Yes. All right, so here we go. So, first one, never have I ever felt like I didn't deserve my job despite the evidence to the contrary. That is, literally being recruited based off your merit and your skills.
You can take it actually to the contrary कि यार अभी you're talking about कि job ऐसा था अच्छा था and you probably felt that you did not deserve going to it. You can I probably have felt at times to the contrary कि यार ऐसा घटिया job था कि I did not deserve to be here वैसे करके. But ऐसा नहीं I did not feel like not being recruited a lot of times, but I did not feel कि I did not deserve the job that I had
Yeah.
or the way I was recruited.
Hmm.
I did not have a very large stint in the service sector, so to say, and there are I don't want to sound like a privileged prick, but yeah, there are people, even coming from a family business or a business background, want to venture into the service industry for a longer time than I probably did. I had my reasons, of course, but yeah, that is one time I felt that probably somebody else in my position could have done more with what I had
Yeah.
an opportunity to do. But beyond that, like I said, if we take it on a larger perspective, of course, there are a lot of things that I did feel that I got and I did not deserve it.
Yes, yes, makes sense. I think that's something a lot of us can relate to. Yeah. Okay, next one. Never have I ever avoided taking on a new challenge because I was afraid of being exposed as a fraud.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And one very distinct memory I have is like in our college, I was back in Xavier's Calcutta, and we used to have different fests and different events. So there was one event that was going on. It was some best manager event or something like that. But then I did not apply for it, thinking that, what if you don't win? Uh, I had a good image in college that I could speak decently well and everything. या जैसे भी but वो event के लिए मेरे को लग रहा था कि यार what if I go and I'm dumbfounded and I can't talk and I can't perform or I can't do well. Whatever positive affirmation I was getting was usually from close folks and everything, so you feel tend to, again, probably that's the imposter syndrome, that you feel that कि ये सब लोग ही बोल रहे हैं, like that is your validation कि if your parents are saying कि तू अच्छा लग रहा है, तो you don't necessarily feel कि you look nice कि वो
The same happened
I
with
felt.
when your parents or maybe like a closed one says something which is negative, like a comment which is like negative.
See, I don't know if this is a gender specific thing, but I read this somewhere that men especially do not know how to take compliments. And it's partially because of the fact that they've not received as many in their entire life.
Right.
Which is why like compliments, positive चीजें सुनना personally मेरे लिए तो बहुत difficult होता है. I feel like the other person is faking or बस बोलने को बोल रहा है. Now people are so diplomatic anyways. Probably they just want to get on your good books or make you feel better or जो भी. It's
Yeah.
always easier to accept a negative compliment. If you tell me right now like my hair looks like shit, I probably feel so myself, but I will be able to accept that easily than you telling me that those three posters look nice. तो see, सेल्फ ऑब्सेशन
First
थोड़ा
one, yeah, of
आते
course,
हुए.
Sherlock, but after that, I cannot see anything. But yeah, the Sherlock,
Right.
of
No.
course.
So Sherlock is there, Big Bang Theory is there, and beach में there is something that says I don't do normal. तो
So
वैसे है.
true, so
हाँ.
true. I think I definitely, strongly, religiously, sort of accept the one in the middle and the one in the first. If that's Cumberbatch, then yes, of course, way to go.
Right. Cumberbatch.
Let's move on to the last one. Never have I ever received praise and thought that I think this we literally covered just now, but yeah,
Right.
yes, okay.
No, yeah, I think, मतलब adding to this point, like, कि I feel the only person I have seen on this planet not feel this really, like probably not single out नहीं कर रहा, but a very good example is Kanye West. Like, he is one person. Like, so I watched his series on Netflix, and he has had such good parenting, and I think which is where you can see where the difference lies with people who have this syndrome and who do not. Like in
But he
his
has other
childhood, during his
syndromes.
child. No, but that is now. I mean, initially when he came into the picture, you see when he came onto the picture, he was probably the most looked forward artist. He was touted
Yeah.
as the greatest newcomer on the block and very talented, of course. And the initial numbers that he had launched were insane.
Yeah.
Right. And so in the show, they've showed that he really had good backing from his mother. And she used to constantly tell him that you are going to do well and you are going to be the greatest artist of all time and what not. And that belief system was inculcated in him within him from a very formative phase of his life. तो वो एक एग्जाम्पल मेरे को लगता है कि दैट इज जेन्युइनली ग्रेट पेरेंटिंग और समथिंग दैट पीपल कैन ट्राई टू इनकलकेट in their children or in their parenting skills ki how do you make your children have a good self confidence, self worth, self esteem.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, Akash, I think it's reassuring to sort of hear your thoughts on this because, of course, like now you're a founder. So if you are experiencing these feelings, I'm sure like people who have just started off, they would like really feel reassured. Let's move on to our main discussion now. So Akash, imposter syndrome is of course something that a lot of people face, but I don't think it's often talked about openly, which is why I wanted to talk about this since a long time. I think I've felt bits and pieces of this even when I've been trying to do so much. And I talk to people and a lot of people feel like this, like the way I see them doing their jobs, I'm like, wow, they're literally amazing. They are so good at what they are doing. They did this project so nicely. I'm always having these acknowledgements towards them. But when I hear them talking about themselves, their competencies, it's not the same. They don't feel the adequacy that they are actually bringing to the table. So can you share a bit about any personal experience with imposter syndrome? If you have ever faced it in your entire career, like some specific examples, just take us through like a story.
It is the paradox.
Yeah.
Ki even though you are the best or whatever you are doing the best, you will feel that you are not adequate enough or it's not good enough. But if you are still within that syndrome or if you're still bothered by it, the paradox is that you will never find out also, no matter how many people validate it for you. So the only way to be able to answer the fact that if I have felt कि यार ये मेरे I have had that feeling कि I could not do this, I would not be able to do this particular thing
Yeah.
as well, and then probably I realized that नहीं मैं कर सकता था, तो that is me venturing out of it या समझ में आ रहा है मेरे को कि ये इशू है मुझे.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to establish that firstly, this
Yeah.
paradox, and if somebody is being able to gauge the they were actually good at it, probably it's a step towards being able to fix this syndrome altogether. So having said that, I feel like some of over the years I have somewhat started to garner lot more confidence, a lot more self-belief, a lot more self-esteem, to not probably doubt myself as much all the time is through the results that I've seen after implementing a lot of things uh, on my own and trying to see positive results through it. Yeah, जैसे भी uh, so Ash, there have been a lot of issues. Abhi, how do I say it? Like projects,
Hmm.
group things. So yeah, a very good example would be, so I was named the president of my drama club in school,
Okay.
and I did not feel that I deserved it at all,
That
at all.
was so
Like
dramatic.
so, yeah. Which is why now probably now that I have some more confidence, self belief, I feel कि नहीं नहीं हाँ उस समय उन्होंने सही elect किया था. But
Your
at
way.
that point of time, at that point of time, I was more sad. I was more upset than happy that I actually got that post.
Yeah.
So of course, these things. मतलब at that point of time a lot of politics, a lot of it was an electoral process basically. So and then when I got it I felt like I did not deserve it or something like that क्योंकि उसमें उन्होंने कुछ tweak करके मुझे बनाया था like the teacher in charge had done it, and it's not like I was a suck up to him. I was in the key, which is why he named me. But he probably saw something that I did not at that point of time, and he named me the president or karke. But I felt terrible, like, and then it was a whole issue within like the club and everything. But then it ended up well.
Yeah.
And of the year में करते हैं ना कि सिद्धार्थ मल्होत्रा और वरुण धवन को कैप्टन नहीं बना के वो जीत खुराना को कैप्टन बना देते
Yeah.
हैं. तो ये ईगो मैनेज कर लिया, तो प्रॉब्ली उस समय वो सिचुएशन में उन्होंने कर दिया होगा.
I hope
बट
that Jeet Khurana in your story is not going to listen to this. He's going to feel so bad. He'll be like,
अरे
okay, I
यार
don't have imposter syndrome. I am actually a loser.
नहीं यार
Wow.
नहीं I'm just saying उसको मैं लूजर नहीं बोला. I'm just
Politically
saying
challenged
कि
by the out of the window. Yeah.
मैं उसको लूजर नहीं बोल रहा, मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि he was good at managing egos, which is a huge compliment, and in today's day is the major characteristic that you need as per my understanding. क्योंकि
Wow.
यार everybody has an ego nowadays.
Look, this reminds me of this reel I saw a few days before when I went to watch Rockstar. Like my entire feed had Rockstar. So there was this song in the movie which was like the Kun Faya Kun song. So basically, there's this moment. I don't know if you are also like a fan of the movie, but basically, like Ranbir Kapoor's, like he's singing and then he zones out for a bit. Do you know about that scene?
या आई मीन एक तो ये मेरे को बहुत ही इरिटेटिंग लगा कि अभी यू आस्क यू आर अ फैन ऑफ द मूवी एंड यू वॉच्ड इट, यू नो हाउ बिग अ सिनेफाइल आई एम, एंड ये ऑडियंस
But
के सामने प्रिटेंड करने का नहीं था.
I have
यू कुड हैव इजीली जस्ट सेड कि नहीं आई नो ऐसा तूने भी देखा होगा, तेरे को तो पता ही होगा करके, सो दैट द ऑडियंस वुड हैव
you are a
गेज.
fan of
बट अभी
Shahrukh
तुम
Khan. I actually didn't know if you are like a fan of Ranbir Kapoor.
SRK and RK are not that far enough anyways.
Honestly.
But
So yes, so there was this scene in Kun Faya Kun where he zones out, and then Imtiaz Ali and all, they are also sort of discussing this on like a podcast like setup. And Ranbir Kapoor is just like, I don't know, like I get so much credit for it, but it is not something like I voluntarily did. Like when you were giving me the example of Sachin Tendulkar, like this is what I thought of, like like people are doing amazing things, but we think we see them as like these legends to be doing it, but then sometimes they don't feel like they even like had the initial like sort of talent or the skill to carry it out. Like they just think it just happened due to like luck, or maybe like just how the situation turned out to be.
true. Like you said, a lot of probably that is true, and probably it was that the bowler himself had some bits of this imposter syndrome or whatever. But I think it's easy to define or to come to a consensus that most people, no matter successful or unsuccessful, they have some form of imposter syndrome or some magnitude of it.
Yeah.
And then of course the reason why this exists is because a lot of things genuinely are out of your control.
True, true.
Ki if you succeed in something which you probably felt that you did not work hard enough for, but then that is just how it was supposed to be.
Yeah. The reason could just be like, like if as a person you become very, very big in life, maybe it's like a bit overwhelming to actually give yourself all the credit. Like, because just for an example, like someone who's a legendary and they are getting all the praises and all the acknowledgement from everyone, it sounds so overwhelming. Sometimes you just want to be like, oh, this was luck in play, like I didn't do much. Because to everyday acknowledge that, oh, you are this great person with so many talents and so many good qualities would be like a bit overbearing, I think.
Of course, I mean, और कुछ नहीं तो आप लोगों के expectations के burden पे ही you can crumble. Like,
For
never know
example,
when
like
a camera
Amitabh
is
Bachchan, he's for so many years he has been a legend in India.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, and all of them, they keep saying off camera, they are a totally different person. Like Ranveer Singh का कितने लोगों ने इंटरव्यू में बोला है कि he is a very very somber person और sober का पता नहीं somber person of screen and नॉट वेरी वेरी मतलब उतना एंथुजियास्टिक उतना एनर्जेटिक वो सब समय घर पे नहीं रहता. बट मैं वो बोलना चाह रहा हूँ कि यू नेवर नो व्हेन इन लोग के प्रोफेशन में व्हेन अ कैमरा इज फेसिंग यू सो probably in your head you always feel कि you have to be in that zone.
Like,
Yeah.
building on to the conversation, yeah, I think I totally agree. Like that overall pressure of like having to do like having to always, stay up on your level, stay at par. I think that is also like a very subconscious reason why sometimes you might not give yourself enough credit. This also brings me to my next question, Akash, which is like, coming to this is the whole problem, but how does one fix this? Like, of course, like as you said, it is very difficult to even like, it's not like something like a medical thing that you can pinpoint, okay, I have this problem. It's a way to call it imposter syndrome, but of course it's not something which is like clinical. So yeah, definitely like to tap on it or to understand that you're going through it. That is the first step. But how does one manage their feelings after that? Like, what is your advice that you would give to someone who is like struggling with this? Yeah.
Again, like my experience, I was under therapy for a lot of time, like a huge chunk, like 1 year, 1.5 years, something like that. So again, I don't mind sharing that also that I was under
Yeah,
therapy. A lot of
that's
people do mind that. Yeah, a lot of people do mind that, but nevertheless, so they go therapy में not taking anything away from my therapist also in general, but like a lot of concept जो वो लोग बोलते हैं उससे वही लगता है कि यार सब तुम्हारा parent का ही गलती है. तो of course that is when you realize that a lot of things like because your parents used to tell you कि यार इतने नंबर आने चाहिए तुम्हारे एग्जाम में तब जाके तुमको ये मिलेगा या you do this thing so you will be rewarded with this.
yes.
So you develop this somehow is that is what my understanding says is that you develop this somehow because you've had to work towards achieving this slightest bit of validation or acceptance or anything from your parents very early on, and then that goes on throughout your life because you keep seeking that. How do you get out of it? I think for me, it worked a lot with the kind of people that I ended up being around. But majorly, the kind of people that I hung out with or still hang out with or have around me are, मतलब ऐसे yes men नहीं है but well wishers है.
Yeah.
They want you to do well और वो लोग compliment करेंगे तुमको अगर तुम कुछ अच्छा कर रहे हो या if you're doing well here, and they will actually tell you where you can do better if there are some areas that are not performing as well. They will never look down upon you for the mistakes that you do, but they will always try to help you to get out of it or to do better. So my suggestion is like surround yourself with the right kind of people. Of course, family you can't choose, but friends or like other well wishers you can.
Yeah, that's so important. And even on a personal basis, just striking the right balance, like of course you should be critical. That's how you also like improve and move forward. But just being critical would never help. Like also celebrating those small wins is so important. And I feel as we grow up, we don't do that so often. Like as a child,
Right, right, right.
we celebrate. Like I was having this discussion with a friend the other day that how a child would react when they would like have an ice cream in their hand, and how an adult would react at the biggest win would still not be the same. So of course, like
True, true.
celebrating those wins, reassuring yourself through it, and of course having those people who circle you with positivity is so important. And talking about like surrounding yourself with good people, with uplifting people, do you also feel like mentorship plays a part? Do you feel it's something important?
100%, 100%. Mentorship, I don't think उससे better there is a secret to become successful. I have had the pleasure of working with a lot of great managers in my last firm, and like some of them I really look up to, and I wanted to learn a lot from them. I have, and I wanted to learn a lot more from them. I have whatever professional ethics I have, like working ethics, is based on one particular manager that I had, and that is insane. And I could not have learned that no matter how many books I would have read in my entire life. Virat Kohli had Dhoni as his mentor. Gill probably would now have Kohli as his mentor, and vice versa. Dada was Dhoni's mentor. So that is how, I mean, good leaders always make new leaders. एक और पॉडकास्ट में ये लोग ये बात कर रहे थे कि why are there so many IITians who suddenly developed into entrepreneurs. तो it's because they had that ecosystem ना, वहां पे वैसे लोग थे जो वैसी बातें कर रहे थे, और कॉलेज खत्म होने के बाद also they could build that network, and from within the ILM system only they could find mentors to probably invest also, and also to get like investment in terms of knowledge. नहीं, but mentorship तो हाँ, I think priceless. If you have good mentor, whatever kind of mentorship, like priceless.
Yes, I think I totally agree. But yeah, perfect, Akash. I think you literally gave a lot of amazing thoughts to take forward, a lot of about imposter syndrome, and a lot of about other things than imposter syndrome. Yes, Akash, tell us more about Ambika Silver Arts. Like, what are the sort of silver artifacts that you are, like sort of engaging in right now with the product line, and how does one get in contact, like purchase something from you?
We have an Instagram page. I like the entire model is right now based on offline studio based. Like we have a studio also, so whoever wants to come visit the studio can book an appointment through the Instagram page or the numbers given on it. And like online, basically we majorly operate through Instagram marketplace only. Like you can just DM us if you like a piece from our post, and then we can reach out and everything.
Yeah, good luck to you for that. I hope you do amazing things. On
Thank
that
you,
note,
thank you.
Akash, we come to the end of the episode. It's been a pleasure talking with you. I know it's like literally your favorite thing to do. I hope you're not.
Nee, it was honestly super fun. For me, like I said, I did not come with the mindset that you would be recording this and we would be putting this online. This is again like one of the first interactions that we've had that we are actually recording or something like that. But yeah, I mean, you're doing so much, and all the best for this. I hope this actually turns out to be something that you can focus more on. All the best for your business back home. Genuinely good stuff. I'm like for my this personal accessory thing, I've been following it very closely because I did not have a lot of experience. Great job.
Okay, yeah. With you, I think it was just like catching up with a friend. So this is not something I
Right,
think
right.
I'm hustling or, something I'm like on Sunday I'm working. I'm not going to tag it like that. Maybe when I do the editing, it's going to sound like totally be like a chaos. But yeah, other than that, I think it's totally fine. And yeah, of course, like as in the beginning of episode, I said I love that we both are hustling in our own worlds, and it's of course great to know that you are doing so many things. Thanks for being here, Akash, and for everyone. I want to say that you are more capable than you think. So just try and keep going. And until next time, try unboxing those 9 to 5 routines and let us know what you think. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.